Hi everyone. I've been working at IMOR since March this year, and I'm working as an XOR digitization specialist. And I've been embedded engineer with Drone Engineering since April. This presentation is taking a focus on our collaboration with Drone Engineering. So we've been working with them to try help create a better digital experience for their customers through XOR technology. And a bit of backstory on Dramone, or like who they are if you're not familiar. They produce products for agriculture and construction. So on the agriculture side, like it's pickup hitches for tractors, and on the construction side, one of the main products I'm going to be talking about, and you'll see it in the further slides, is their multi-lock quick coupler. So this goes onto the end of a dipper of an excavator, and it's for quickly picking up and swapping attachments. So I'll go in now and start talking about the various projects. So the first project, and it was the main goal of a project working with Ramon, was to create a mobile AOR training app for their customers. And the idea here is to use AOR to let customers place 3D animated models overlaid onto their real products, and to step through processes and to learn how to use the product. But then also we looked into services and maintenance and providing part IDs through this mobile app. But also starting this project, we decided to take a step back and to explore the other ways that we could use XOR at Dramone. And we came to 5 projects that we decided on. So the next one was VR design review meetings. So of course, with COVID and lockdown, a lot of things went online, and so did design review meetings. And we noticed that we were in Teams or Zoom doing a design review meeting, and it's like one person would be sharing their screen of the CAD content or the 3D model, and it could cause sort of like miscommunication on trying to like talk about which part of the model you're talking about. And we saw that this could be maybe improved if we had the option of adding VR headsets so they can go into a virtual space and interact with this 3D model with your colleagues at the same time. The other project was interactive 3D web viewer. So this is quite similar to the first project, the mobile training app, but we wanted to make use of the Dramone website, and what can we put into the Dramone website so customers have even quicker access to the content. And what we wanted to do was to take bridge the gap between what the engineers are producing on the CAD end, so the 3D content, and how can we put that into the Dramone website directly, and creating this sort of filter viewer that would just polish it up with adding lighting, fancy materials, and separating out the animations so customers can interact with. So then the other one was 360 tours. So of course, with site visits being quite difficult and traveling being difficult at the moment, the idea of being able to share a 360 image tour of your facility via a URL or a web link, and people can explore it and get a tour of your factory is quite beneficial. But then also taking it a step further, you could add more interactivity to these 360 tours to make them possible for training. And they're also just great for marketing promotional material on your website. And the last one was remote assistance. So the idea, if you have an issue, you can call an expert, and the expert will get a live stream of your perspective, whether it's through a pair of glasses or it's on a mobile phone. And then they can add augmented annotations to your phone screen to better communicate resolving the problem. I'm going to go into now the mobile AOR training app and a little more detail on it. So a digital user manual, basically offering training, service, and part listings. So you can see here, there's a flyer on the side of one of our earlier prototypes. It's just instructions on how they download the app and then scanning the marker to get the experience. But the reason for this developing this is that Dramone, when they release their products, when you get their products, you get a paper manual with it. And on construction sites, it's quite common to just get damaged. And even the products go out to a lot of rental companies. So when they're swapping customers, the manuals can go missing, and they'd have to download a new manual and print it out and stuff. So we saw that maybe it's beneficial to get a mobile app so they can access this stuff offline and just have it on their own phone. So the features within this app would be to have training, service, and part listings. So the training is interactive 3D experience where you step through 3D animated procedures of training you on how to use the different features of the products. And then you have the option to overlay this on the real object to really take advantage of the augmented reality. Then the service is similar to this, but it's also for maintenance. So this is where you could, when you're stepping through it, you can highlight relative internals and add annotations to better describe on what's going on in the internals of the product. And then lastly, it's add the part listings to this app. So you can view and download PDFs of whether it's the specifications, the manual, or like the part IDs. And then also the app would link to the website if they need further information. And the technology we used here was PTC. So Creo Illustrator is used for doing 3D animations, and Vivoria Studio was for programming and developing the actual experience with the 3D models. So I'm going to show a demo here of the app. So here's a great example. This is an example of AR. So you can see I'm placing this virtual 3D model in a real world space, like on the grass in the garden. This is what AR is, and so I'm using my mobile phone. You can see what I'm seeing on both sides of screens. One's third person and one's a screen share. But here I'm going into one of the maintenance procedures in the app. So it's for grease points. So they have to grease the coupler before every use at the start of the day. And so with this, you can go in and you can press a grease point, and it'll show a 3D animation on where you put the grease gun to grease each point. And then here's another maintenance task, which is adjusting the front lock arm. And so this one is actually, it would probably be one of the most common that someone might misunderstand through a 2D manual, because it's hard to visualize like how much adjusting a bolt actually moves the arm. And here with a 3D model and making some of it go transparent, you can see as when the wrench turns and the lock arm, you can see it moving and how much it adjusts it. So this can let you better understand it. Next here, I'm going into the training section. So here it's just attaching an attachment. So there's a description on each step at the top of the screen. And then we see you got the joysticks. So you'd see these two joysticks at the inside a cab of an excavator. And we see we can add it. So they have to press the joystick in the correct direction to perform each step. And we found this better than just having next and back and stepping through like a video or just a slideshow. Because now they're actually pressing into the direction of what they need to do in real life. And then here I'm doing just the opposite. It's just removing the attachment. But you can also see we added some other features here. Then down at the bottom, there's a button to toggle a video. So if people aren't comfortable with the AR point of view, they can see this higher quality render of the internals and what's going on through the video. And lastly, you can see at the top, you can jump between the steps as ease, so you can go back to different steps. And then lastly here is the section with the documents. So these are all PDFs, so you can just download them and save them on your phone. So there's the specifications, the actual manual and such. So that's for that project. So the next one that we looked into was the VR design review meetings to make remote design reviews more interactive. And the best way to do that was through VR. So the idea, if you're familiar with VR, it's there's some headsets there on the bottom of the screen you can see. So once you put one of these headsets on, you're in a complete virtual space. You can look around and interact with. So the idea is we'd put in the CAD content into this space, and colleagues can join into the meeting space, and you appear as this sort of 3D avatar with the name above you. And then you can interact with the content. So the features of this app that joining an online meeting, the 3D space, interacting, as I said. But then the really important thing was to join via a desktop or a VR headset. So you don't have to go into VR headset. You can just be on like joining a Teams meeting. But in the VR space, it's the model can be at a 1-to-1 scale. So this means you can interact with it almost as if it was a real thing. So you can start practicing procedures of like different processes, like maintenance tasks and stuff, and seeing if like it's comfortable to do it. Are parts accessible while you're moving it around? You're putting your arms around it, and you could also do factory layouts and stuff in this scenario. So and then each attendee, once they join, they're able to annotate by drawing. They can highlight components, move them about, and they can measure components. So here, once again, the content is for Dramone is being produced in SolidWorks, and we're exporting it through as GLTF. And then I'll show a demo of it here. of the application. So to develop this, we use Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is actually traditionally for making video games, but that kind of makes it an ideal tool to develop an app like this, as it's a real-time rendered simulation where you have multiple users interacting with the same stuff in the environment. So this is a live meeting, this screen recording here. So you can see two of us, and you can see myself there as the blue character with the superhuman strength, interacting with my viewer headset. And so I can move stuff around with my hands. And you can see here we're taking photos. And so there's a lot of different features here that you can do to interact, and you can measure from points. So as you can notice down at the bottom of the screen, we also added the feature to import models at runtime. So if they're hosted anywhere, you can just drop the URL link in there, and during the meeting, you can pop up the different content and people start interacting with it. This is just a very early prototype, but you could polish this up a lot better, where you have maybe a web portal where you're putting your own 3D content on your profile. And then when you join, you sign in and you've access, and you can pull them in from a menu. You can see there that it supports animations and materials and such as well. So the next project was the interactive 3D web viewer. And so this quick access to 3D content via the web. And so this again is similar to the first project with the AR mobile app, but it's just like, why can't we put this into the actual Germone website, so it's even easier access for customers? While they're on the product page, as you can see in the image here, this is what it would look like, and the content is there, and they can interact and step through procedures. But they can access this through a mobile app as well. So the features here is that this viewer is taking in CAD content that the engineers are producing. So Germone is producing really high quality CAD content from their engineers. So it's how's the best that we can use this, and having a viewer like this is great because it's just passing it through a filter to make it more presentable to customers. So it's compressing it, and it's adding materials, lighting, and cameras, and separating out the animations so customers can interact with this CAD content. And in a way, that's bridging a massive gap, to take something that's going from the CAD engineers work to going straight into the customer's hands. So the idea, and it's cleanly compacting information into this viewer, so the different processes, and it supports mobile and desktop. So because it's in supports on web browser, you can use pretty much any device that has a web browser to access it and interact with it. I even tried it on an Xbox console. I could still go onto a web browser and access it and interact with it. It's a big possible alternative to having a mobile app. There's a way off for it, of course. There's some things that are better to be done through mobile apps, and there's benefits like let's say saving data is a lot easier on a mobile app, saving it to the customer's phone. And through web, that's a little more difficult. So there is some way off. What do you want to achieve? So users can step through at their own pace, and they can click on different components. So I'll show the demo of this. So again, this is screen recording from 2 point of views. But I'm going into a camera on my phone, and then it's a QR code. So this QR code can be in user manuals, and it can be printed onto the products. And the user scans it, and that's it. It just goes straight to this 3D experience. And this is the CAD content that the engineers designed. And these are the animations that they're doing inside SolidWorks, just pass through into this to make it more displayable, and they can interact with it. So again, it's a similar thing. So you're selecting the components, there's the instructions, and you're pressing the joysticks to go through the process of attaching. And then here's an explode animation. And then the other feature here is AOR. So you still have the functionality of AOR even through the web. So just toggling AOR gives you to just turn the application into your camera, and it works the exact same way. And you can place the content, the 3D content, in a real world location. So you could place this on the actual product if I had it there. But yeah, it's a great way. It's a different way of interacting, and it's becoming extremely popular. Like if you have a device, a mobile device that was released in the past 2-3 years, you've got this functionality at your fingertips. So it's becoming very common, and you might see it on a lot of clothing brands or high-end car brands and stuff on their websites, but they just have 3D viewers that you can place in the real world. But this is taking a big step forward and having interactive experiences. And again, it's coming from the CAD end. Next one is the 360 image tours, site visits without any travel complications. So a lot going on here. There's already a video playing, but if you're not familiar, a 360 image tour, think of it almost like a slideshow, but it's 360 images and you're just stepping through the slideshow. But the great part of it is once you add these location-based annotations, so it makes you, once you're clicking on them, it makes you feel like you're actually maneuvering and traveling through the space. And so this is great for site tours through web, so you can explore at your own pace. So you can just share this through a URL, host it on your site. Another benefit is you can take 360 images and blend them together for photogrammetry to create a rough 3D model, as you can see in the top picture there, of your factory or office, which it has many uses across a lot of different scenarios. But the 360 image tours, you have a possibility of expanding this to add more interactions. So you can do a lot more with this. So imagine these location-based annotations. We can add videos. So once you get to a machine, there's an employee there actually who uses it that can describe how it works and can teach you and train you how to use it. And then it can pop up in interactive experience of like using the machine and practicing using it, like pressing buttons and stuff like that. And for that purpose, it's great for training. It could definitely be used in induction, especially during the COVID times, or just even safety reasons of getting people to experience an on-site and interacting with machines before actually going on site. It's all, again, done through the web. And then 360 photos can be added to Google Maps. So yeah, this is already, like on Google Maps, you can upload your 360 photos of your location, of your place of business. And but they get added to the Street View. So when people are in Street View on Google Maps, they can actually enter your building and they can move around it. So of course, there's privacy issues. You might not want to do that, but there is a great marketing opportunity here. So if you set up like a place in your office or your factory, so let's say Dramone, in one of the warehouses in their factory, they could set up all of their products in a very presentable way, and we can do 360 photos of it. So anytime someone zooms into Dramone on Google Maps, they are actually going into a virtual showroom, and it's just a great place of a marketing opportunity that you could do. And lastly is the remote assistance. So getting experts help through AOR. So the idea is that if you're struggling with something and you need an expert's help, you can call them. On the lowest end of this, it's almost like a FaceTime, a video call. But the next step up is the remote assist. The expert can actually draw over what they see. So you can see here in these images. So you're calling someone on your phone or your tablet, and the expert on the other end is able to talk you through solving a problem and fixing something. But they can add these annotations, and these annotations, if using AOR on your phone, they actually hold to the location that they place them, and this makes the communication a lot better. And then the other step up is hands-free using smart glasses. So these glasses, whether it's just a camera one or it's an AOR supported glass headset, it gives hands free, so it's a lot safer. You've got both your hands free while the expert is guiding you through a process. So this is more on a lower priority end with us at Dramone currently, because we're targeting customers at the moment, and the real benefit we see in this is internal. So we've just done a few tests internally with mobile apps. But yes, I think that's it. So if you would like to collaborate with us on any ideas that you have within the XOR space, then please contact us. Our emails are there. And not just the projects that we mentioned today, the 5 that we mentioned, but like anything on the spectrum of VOR to AOR. This is just scratching the surface. There's a lot of opportunity here. And if you have any ideas across your mind, we'd love to talk about them more in depth. So that's everything I have, and thank you. And if you have any questions, just drop them into the chat.
Yeah, excellent, Charlie. Thank you very much. That's the 3rd time I've seen that presentation, and I still love it. I mean, from someone in marketing, there's so much there that I want to get my hands on. What would be the main areas you see this being used?
Almost any industry using this. It kind of depends on which solution, because I talked about a few there. And the one that really stands out to me is offering 3D interactive web experiences. Like to be so accessible through a QR code, like anything that has an instruction manual should have this as an option. You scan the QR code and you're getting the 3D experience of stepping through the process, especially that you wouldn't need, just by using a viewer, you wouldn't need like a multimedia company to produce these high-end 3D animations. You can actually use your CAD engineers' content that they're producing. So I think basically anything with an instruction manual could use this.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
That's all from us. Thank you very much and have a great weekend.